Hey besties, I'm sure you're smiling from that intro video you saw. You saw Stels dancing. Well, I love to dance. I really love to dance. Right from growing up, that's one of the things that keeps me happy. Like back to back, when I go to parties, I was always packing prize as a kid for dancing competitions. So respect, respect. If you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Stels. I'm a Nigerian immigrant based in Canada. I share videos about my relocation journey, finance, my lifestyle, and every other thing that can aid your smooth transition into Canada. I'm based in Waterloo, Kitchener in Ontario, and I share tips and tricks how I survive in this economy. It's different from my home country, so do stay tuned. Today, I have a compilation of some of the things that shocked me here in Canada, some of the things that I wish we had here in Canada that we don't have in Nigeria, and some of the things I don't even miss about Nigeria. So it's a all-in-one video, to be honest. The first thing I noticed when I came to Canada, I didn't see it in anybody's video. Like all the vlogs I watched, all the YouTubers, because I did binge watch on a lot, is that when I came here, when I saw it, I was surprised. You know, when the socket where you plug your electronics, like your television, it doesn't have on or off switch. It's just there. It's just there. You know, in Nigeria now, how you like, ekpa no, off everything, off all. It's only the lights that have on and off switch. The socket where you plug in your electronics does not have an on and off switch. It's just the hose, and it's just the two mount pin or the three mounts, the one with the flat pin. They don't have the rounded pin in the houses I've been to here, anyways. So I was shocked when I realized that they don't have an on and off switch for their sockets. I'm like, it was weird to me. Like, it was very weird to me. That's the first one. Second one is that everything you buy has calories. Like any food you buy, they write the amount of calories in that food. People here are kind of conscious about these things, right? Even the sugar. It shocked me, to be honest. When I was in Nigeria, I was always buying this granola. You know, I love granola. Okay, I didn't start liking granola. My husband used to like granola. Um, then I realized I was like, this thing feel like this thing is healthier because it has nuts, it has oats, it has so many things in it. So I usually blend it. I blend it and I put some in my child's food. I never looked at the pack one day to check the sugar content. It was here in Canada that I checked the sugar content of granola and I realized how high it is. Ever since myself and my husband saw it, we banned my son from it. As in ban. Not that you eat small today, eat small tomorrow. We totally banned it because we realized that even we didn't know that was what was keeping him awake all through the night. Like my son can be awake till 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and he was always hyper, 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 hyper. And he liked eating that granola, especially from Nigeria, because we will blend it smooth, we'll make it into like a paste, we eat it. Sometimes we add it to his food. But when we got here and everybody's like cautious about what you're eating, we checked the sugar content of that granola. It's so high. So if you're not checking your stuff, be checking your stuff because here people are very conscious of it. Whatever you're buying, food, even ready-made food, they'll put it like if you're going to buy burger, you see where they write the number of calories for that particular meal that you're getting. Another thing here was that when you're crossing, pedestrians are kings of the road, kings and queens of the road. People will stop for you to pass, but you have to use sense. You have to follow the where the pedestrians are supposed to walk. You're supposed to walk there. People respect pedestrians. So, and I've not started driving yet, but the driving here is very sane. It's very, very sane compared to my home country. Crow, no, leave the road, and all the insults that you get at Oshodi. There's nothing like that here. It's very, very sane. People would literally wait for another car to just move, you know. It's very, very different. I'm sure if I learn how to drive here and I go to Nigeria, people will be like, what is wrong with this one? That then the money is made out of plastic. I've done a video about the various the currencies and how it looks like. Please go and watch that video if you have no idea how Canadian currency look like. Canadian dollars is not the same as US dollars. If you've always thought that Canadian dollars and US dollars are the same, please go and watch that video and see how it looks. It's not paper, it's actually plastic. Then we have the coins as well. So go and watch that video and see how Canadian dollars look like. It's very colorful. So that's the thing for Canada. Then my home country one that I miss. You know how, let me explain to you how if you work in, I used to work in Guaranty Trust Bank, and I used to work at the Central Processing Center. Um, I started off at a branch. Then when I got married, I relocated to Lagos, and I was posted to the Central Processing Center. It's like the annex of the head office. So it's very big. It has two massive buildings, Block A and Block B, and there are top executives in that building. So imagine how the cafeteria will be. Imagine how the food will be served. So just it's very exquisite, right? Then just take a look at how, then just imagine how head office, the kind of food you will have in the canteen of a GT Bank head office, where you know that this is where the CEO or the MD of the bank is situated. So the food is going to be very classy, expensive, but very classy. And you will find all sorts. Like whenever I go to head office, maybe for a training, I'm always anticipating to eat the food in the canteen because it's always tasty. And you know, when you're eating like real KFC jollof rice, you know, real better chicken and all of that. You're spending your money, but you know you're eating your money's worth. I miss it. Like when I was going to CPC, when I was working in GT Bank, it wasn't every day I was taking food to work, you know, because I was living on the mainland and I was going to the island, right? So imagine, imagine waking up in the morning to cook and all of that. And I had a nanny. I cannot even stress her to do all of that. So sometimes I pre-pack my food a night before and I move in the morning. And other times when I cannot, I go to the office canteen and I pack and I eat there. So I miss that kind of alternative because in my canteen here in Canada, okay, first of all, we don't have a human being there. We have a vending machine. We have a vending machine and we have refrigerators. Now in the refrigerators, there are drinks, there's soda, there is water, there's cold coffee. There are a lot of things in the fridge. In the vending machine, there are chocolate bars, there are blah blah blah, sweets and sugar and all of that. Then there's another aisle where you have like packed bread and egg. I'm like, I don't know how long this bread and egg has been packed here. And it's in the fridge, you know. So these are the things that you can eat. And if you now decide to say, oh, I don't want to eat this one, I want to like eat food. Next best thing close to my office is McDonald's, burger, and cook chicken. That's the next best thing close to my office. Except I want to start taking, like going far again to say, okay, you want to go and eat Chinese or something like that. And you cannot do all of that except your mobile. Imagine me, if I want to eat now, start targeting when is the next bus coming to board bus to go and eat and come back. No, now it doesn't make sense. Even while I was working in the East, like you just go the next just on the road there you see someone selling abacha or you see someone selling mama puts that you can just buy and fill your belly. I'm a foodie. I don't look it, but I like to eat, so I actually miss that bit. I hope this mic is working. So I miss that bit. I miss it a lot. Secondly, it's about healthcare. Like healthcare is free in Canada, you know, especially for we permanent residents, it's free. But what I miss about healthcare in Nigeria is that I used to use Crystal Hospital. I used to live in Egbeda. I can walk into Crystal Hospital. No matter how the crowd is there, I will wait and I will say doctor, right? But in this climate, I have to book an appointment if I want to see my family doctor. They are working clinics actually, but if you're not on the verge of giving up your life, you cannot be attended to immediately. So healthcare here is free for permanent residents. However, the structure assigned to that system is actually failing because health is something that should not be overlooked and it should be easily accessible. If it's free and it's not easily accessible, what's the point? Right? Then another thing I miss about Nigeria is here the inability to price food items. Like if I go to market, I can bargain my way through anything. But here, what are you bargaining with? When you're picking your items off the shelf, are you bargaining with the shelf? Or when you want to go and pay at the counter, or you're even doing self checkout, you're not bargaining with anybody. The only time you can really bargain is like you're buying, maybe you go to like a farmer's market, and you just price. And most times they fix their prices. They put their prices on a card and fix it on the item, so you cannot even price in some shops. While some can actually be lenient to you if you're buying more than one, you know, so they would reduce the price for you. But if you're going to a store, because everything here is store, there is rarely open markets except like farmers market. You can really find like open markets where people are gathered to sell and all of that. You really get it here. So that, just know that you're going to spend your money. Nothing like bargaining. Like in Nigeria, you go to the market, you have plans to buy one thing, but because you can actually bargain your way through having some change, you can actually afford to buy something else, right? Nothing like that. Yes, I actually miss it. Um, Another thing here is the transportation. I miss Nigeria transportation. Like, I think it's just, I can count the number of times my son has entered bus in Nigeria on one hand. I'm serious. Even when we are going from my house, I used to live in Egbeda. My parents used to live in Akuwonjo. So you can see how close. In fact, Okada self can take us there. If I don't want to enter Keke self, Keke Napep can take us there. But because how much is it from Egbeda to Akuwonjo? If I use Uber, at most 600, 700, 800. And then I'm not talking about now. So it was easy for me to just, put him in an Uber and just move to my parents' house. Then when my mom is coming to see me, from her place to my place, it's very easy. I just book an Uber. She'll come. Even when she's going, I book an Uber for her to go back. But try it here. The closest distance, apart from Lyft now, I don't know if their promo has ended, but the last time I entered Lyft, I took an Uber for as low as, I think $7. That's the cheapest I've ever entered an Uber here. Sorry, a Lyft here. And that's because we're doing a promo. The closest distance from my house to my son's daycare is as much as $12, and it's just climb the bridge, come down, get to the place. And it's not a very long bridge. You just climb the bridge, get down, get to the place, and it's as high as $12. $12 is close to 10,000 naira. So you can see how high it is when it comes to Uber. And that's if you want to be, you want to feel comfortable. And if you want to do like the regular people, like I'm a regular person, right? You want to board bus. The buses here, the intervals between buses are as long as 30 minutes. So if you miss your bus by chance and you have an interview, better be looking at how you take an Uber, because the next bus can be coming as much as 30 minutes. And now with the winter, buses are delayed. So that is another thing that I don't like. Buses are delayed. So these things are not to dissuade you from coming to Canada. I'm just telling you so that you can understand some things I did not know. I did watch a lot of YouTubers, and some of these people did not mention this thing. So that's one of the reasons why I actually started this relocation series, so that people can actually really know what's going on. It's better for you to be informed and prepared, and when you come, you're not like a novice, than for you to come and get shocked at some of the things you're seeing here, right? So yes, I mentioned the transportation bits. The intervals between the next bus can take as much as 30 minutes. So be prepared and leave your house on time, right? There was even a time I was coming from, I dropped my child at the daycare, so I was going to work. And because the daycare lady was, telling me some things about my son, I was like, okay, 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 okay. I had to like leave immediately. I saw the bus, the driver saw me, and I rushed and I waved. The bus hadn't moved, and I waved, and this person did not open the door. He says, "You have to be here at least 3 minutes earlier." I was like, "The fuck?" This guy zoomed off. He didn't wait. He didn't wait. I felt so angry. And he was African. That's why I felt angry. If he wasn't African, I would have just said he's racist. But he's African, and I felt so angry because I was running. I was practically running. The reason he didn't move, he should have moved. But the reason he didn't move was because there was a red light ahead. So his intention was like, if there was no red light, he would have gone. So why is this still waiting? I'm like, but I met you here. So why can't you just open the door for me? I didn't want to argue anyway, so I let him go. So that's for transportation. Um, Something else I don't like is also this one might sound ridiculous, but you know how in Nigeria they say you can actually buy all your groceries on the road. I miss it, to be honest. Like from work, is either I just go straight to Walmart, or I go straight to Freshco, or I go straight to so I just have to go somewhere to a convenience store to get something before coming back home. Unlike in Nigeria now, as you're on the way home, if you're in a bus, you can buy orange, you can buy this, you can buy that. Actually means that because most times when I'm coming back home from work in Nigeria, I'm always coming back. I know that I'm not going any other. I'm not going to any other place. I don't have to go to a store on my way back home from work. I can buy a lot of things and get into the house. I know it's just one route. I also miss how yeah, there's no aboki. There's no corner store. The corner store, you think it's corner store. I remember when I came here and I was looking for where to get water. If you watch one of my earliest videos, you see that video. If you've been following me from when I started my relocation series, you're an OG. I just came out and I was looking for where to buy water because the water we bought at Walmart was flavored water. My son did not like the flavored water, so I came out to ask people where I could get where I could get water. And the guy I met was like, "Oh, go 50 meters." I'm like, 50 meters, okay. I was thinking that maybe one corner store somewhere is selling water or something. So in Canada, you just need to know that it's different from Nigeria. Like Nigerians, you can actually have a book, even in certain select VIP areas in Nigeria, still have a bookie somewhere. Like you still have one a bookie, you still open one small shop somewhere just to, you know, settle the people within that area. So I actually miss that kind of accessibility. Talking about accessibility, you see, saloons are not accessible here. Oh. Like it's not as if they are not saloons, but they're not close by to where I stay. And it's a situation whereby you have to book appointments. Like somebody gave me someone's contact on Instagram, and by the time I DM'd her, like, oh, I want to make my hair. She's Nigerian, no, not even say I want to make my hair. She was like, okay. Do she sent me her calendar, her Instagram, what do you call that, in link tree or something. She will check available dates. I'm like, waiting they worry this one. Check available dates. Oh, Benny, come and make my hair for me. So while I was checking out available dates now, I said, let me check prices too. And I was seeing 300 and something dollars, 200 and something dollars. Guys, to braid, tiny braids like this. I just took 2 days off work and I sat down at the comfort of my house on this very chair and I was braiding my hair myself. It's not the perfect braid, but I'm like, $300 is close to, what am I saying? It's more than 200,000 naira. I'm like, to braid hair. I know at this point I shouldn't be doing conversion, but I really want you to understand um, the difference, right? I really want you to understand the difference. The thing I miss about Nigeria is that I don't see here is like communal dwelling. Like maybe in some very remote parts of Canada, it might exist, and some places that you might have more African settlements, yes, it might exist. But like here, don't make mistake here and say, oh, you want to quickly go and buy something, go and drop your child in your neighbor's place, especially when you're not friendly with that neighbor. The way they will call social services for you, hey God, they will shock you. Or you mistakenly leave your child at home and go, and let's say you want to quickly go and buy water or an underage child at home. Don't try it here. Then about feeding, I miss Nigerian teachers. When my child started school, because before we left Nigeria, my son started is it kindergarten they call it now? Or KG, kindergarten, you know. Then in Nigeria, at least you have to be 2 years. Even when I went to the school to make inquiries, some were about 1 year plus, right? So he was already two. He's three now. He was already two, and he started. I think he didn't spend up to 3 months in that school. I don't think so. Before we relocated to Canada, so I didn't want him to like socialize, and because he didn't attend any daycare, my mom was always taking care of him. So I wanted him to be in that, in that space with kids. So I remember how my son wasn't feeding himself then. So I remember how they will so gladly inform me when I go to pick him up, or when my husband goes to pick him up from school. We fed him, he ate his food. Next time, please put Ribena for him. They will even encourage you on what he likes and what he doesn't like. They will encourage you and tell you how they fed him and all of that. But here in Canada, hey, God, if you don't know, now you know. Nobody's feeding your child for you. Daycare, yes, they have provision for that. But I mean, core school, when your child clocks 4 years, I think in some provinces it's 5 years, but in Ontario it's 4 years. Once your child clocks the school age, you must learn how to feed himself. If not, your child will come back to to the house with a full plate and an empty stomach, because they want the child to be independent. They don't want to raise dependent children. So to me, I feel like at least there should be there should be concern, because they don't seem concerned. I was I'm in a group chat for mothers in Ontario, and I there was one time a woman was actually complaining that um her child always comes back with her food and the girl is losing weight, and like people just advised her, see madam, feed her very well in the morning, and as soon as she comes back from school, feed her again. But at your convenience, just try and ensure that she tries to learn how to use the spoon herself. So another thing is ownership of property. See, this country is a credit based country. Everything is run on credit. Not everything. A lot of things are run on credit. Like iPhone that we bought is run on credit. You can actually pay outright for the iPhone, but because you are trying to build your credit score, you buy it on credit. A lot of people go and buy their cars. You see big cars here. See, a lot of the cars you see on the road are bought on credit. A lot of the houses you see, because it's very hard. Like in Nigeria now, you can buy land, you can buy house. You understand? Because these things are pricey, but there is an affordability. The ones you can afford, you can do. But here, there's no affordability. There is no house that is less than, I don't know. Is there any house less than $500 in this Canada? $500,000 in this Canada? I don't know. So here there's no affordability anywhere. So you have to watch it. Then here, um, a lot of the events here are planned towards the summer. Like it's winter now, nothing is really going on. Maybe except for certain snow games and outdoor activities, then some other indoor activities. But nothing really goes on like that in the winter. A lot of events are planned towards summer. So it gives you a close time to plan your events, prepare for your events, and execute your events. So it's not really great. It's not really great. Imagine two lovebirds that want to get married like immediately, and they also have like a luxurious garden wedding. You can't try it in the winter now. How you want to do luxurious garden wedding for winter? Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I know your girl Stels.